Okay, we're going live. Hello. I'm gonna. So this is Princess Steps, Fall 2023, Week 10. Can you believe it? Week 10, and you're all here. I have a little bit of a story. I got a phone call today from a woman, and she was asking about our running groups, and she proceeded to tell me that her and her friend are doing this Couch to 5K, and that they want to do a half marathon sometime in April. And she wanted to know if we had anything. I was thinking, oh my gosh, this would have been perfect for her, right? But she didn't know about it. But she's from here, had never been here before to Gallagher Fitness Resources. And so as I proceeded to tell her about the different groups that we have, she's right now doing walk 3, run 3, walk 3, run 3. So it's not really appropriate for the current Panther group, because the Panther group's already surpassed that amount. Okay? And not really appropriate for the Saturday morning group, because they're not up to more than 30 minutes. So all this to say, she's gonna, maybe, probably think about doing the clinic in the spring, but by then, what she wanted was what you guys all have. You all have built-in buddies now for that accountability to help you stay consistent through the next 4 months of rain and cold and wind. And that's just what she was looking for. So, darn. So again, all that to say, talk it up, I guess. Talk to people that you know that might be interested, that don't even know this exists, and we've been doing it for 7,000 women over 25 years, and how awesome it is. And you all know. And you all, next week we're going to talk more about goal setting and what your plans are moving forward. But for now, we're going to talk about the event preparation and also some accessories. So accessories were going to be next week, but I'm going to kind of cover it this week so that next week we can really, really break out into our groups and focus on how we're going to do what we want to do for the next 4 months until March 5th happens. Okay, so event preparation. Now, in most events, I'm going to do this mostly off my head just because I've done events so much, but for most events that are in person, live, as opposed to the Princess Steps, which is virtual, you're going to have signed up prior. You're going to probably get a bib number. And so one of the things you want to do is make sure that you put your bib number on the front. And why is that important? And why, when you go to races, sometimes you see people with their bib number on the back. If it's on the back, it's because they're a rookie. They didn't know. So how many people, be honest, how many people like to see their picture after the race? Come on, be honest. All right, you want to see your picture. Well, a lot of times, not always, there's a photographer out there. And that photographer needs to see your bib number. Because then, when the race is over with and you want to go find your pictures, you can look up your pictures by your bib number. Because they associate your bib number with your name, etc. And also, when you cross the finish line, oftentimes they're going to say your name. How do they know your name if they can't see your bib number? So if your bib number is on the back and they can't see it, they're not going to be able to know your name to holler out your name. And if you've worked hard for your first 10K or first full, your first half marathon, let alone full, it's kind of cool. You're coming across and they say, hey, there's Courtney, or hey, there's Danae, or hey, there's Rebecca. They're only going to know it if your bib number's on the front. Okay, so don't be that rookie. Okay, so that's about the bib number. So also, you're going to want not only your favorite shoes, which hopefully by then you will have known what they are, but your favorite socks, your favorite sports bra, your favorite everything. And also, be prepared, because here we are. It doesn't really matter what time of the year it is. You're going to be pretty especially now, I guess, the weather could change just like that. So let's say you think it's supposed to be, warmish, and you get out there and the wind picks up, the temperature drops, the rain starts, and you're kind of caught. So you always want to take extra precautions. Even now, just coming here to work, because I'm not going to go back home after I run if I run at night. So I've got usually either a bigger bag or I got a stash of stuff in the office here, extra gloves, a hat, jacket, vest, socks, dry stuff, because and options, because I don't know for sure what it's going to be. So if you're coming here and you're coming straight from work in the morning, either be a weather geek and look and see, but even so, put extra stuff, extra gear in your bag just in case, because you can always shed some layers or just have that to be prepared. Because the last thing you want to do is say, well, I'm not going to go because I don't have the right gear. Okay, that's kind of not a good excuse, right? Because you really want to be consistent, and that's one of the things that's gonna help you be consistent is to have that right gear. Okay, so also having something for afterwards. Again, if it's rainy or you're sweaty, one of the very first things to do so you don't get chilled is to get out of that wet sports bra, get out of that wet stuff. If you have half an hour, let alone more than that, or 20 minutes even, to drive home afterwards, you want to get into dry stuff right away. And that's honestly one of the things that girl asked me on the phone today. She said, we don't know what to wear. And because I mentioned something about, the weather getting colder and darker and, rainy and that kind of thing. And she wants to be consistent. Not a clue. She doesn't. So think of all the things that you guys have learned just through this clinic. Okay. And you're not, a lot of you are or have maybe done a half marathon. This clinic, maybe it only gears you up for, 5K, 10K, with the exception of the Jaguars in the spring, which is a half marathon. But look at how much you've learned about, okay, what are we supposed to wear? How are we supposed to prepare for the dark? How do we stay consistent through the months when the clinic's not happening? Okay, imagine somebody who truly is coming off the couch to 5K, and hasn't had all the information you have had. Okay, that's kind of where this poor girl was. And I just wanted to, I'm sorry, but this would have just been so perfect, because she had all these questions, and all those questions would have been answered if she'd have been here like you guys were. So my heart kind of goes out to those people, and there wasn't a whole lot I could do, but I did say, give me an idea where you're at, what your pace is. And of course she said, oh, it's a lot slower than that, and this is what we're doing. So she's not even to the point where I could say, go to Riverfront Park on Saturday morning at 7:00 and hook up with those people that you see that are all dressed in bright and happy and cheerful, and tell them I sent you. Because, other than she could maybe go with the WAT group and be okay with the WAT group, because she's not up to the current Panthers right now. Okay, so anyway, just kind of intermixing some things in with this event preparation. First aid and necessity. Sometimes, I have a bag, and that bag has toilet paper in it. Okay, that bag has a headlight in it. One time we went to a race, and it was Cascade half marathon in the middle of January, and the wind picked up and it got really rainy and the electricity went out, and we were in the shower afterwards and it got all dark. And so now I go to Cascade. Some of you know what Cascade is, and I don't know why, I always remember, make sure you have your headlight just in case you're in there and the electricity goes out. We can't even use the shower there anymore, but it just that memory of being in there and everything is dark, and it's like, what are you gonna do? And that's not a race where it gets dark. It's in the daytime. It's in the morning. Okay. Logistics. That's another one. If I'm going to a place I've never been to before, my rule of thumb is get there at least an hour ahead of time, because I'm not sure where I'm going to park, not sure where the bathrooms are, not sure where if I have to go get my bib number because I wasn't there to get it the day before. So you want to go early enough so you can get the lay of the land, so to speak. And, you know, you might have to go take 3 trips to the bathroom because you're nervous, or you want to relieve yourself before you get there because you don't know if there's going to be porta potties on the course. So, you know, those are just things you want to plan for and prepare for. Now, when we're doing this virtual on Saturday, you're all familiar with Riverfront Park, so that's pretty cool. Hopefully you've got plans to do it with somebody. Hopefully the bathrooms will be open because we're paying for them, right? Come on, city, open those bathrooms up. But I don't know for sure. Does anybody know? They're open right now. Yeah, and they built an extra set of bathrooms for like $1 gazillion, I think. So hopefully those, you know, that $1 million new bathrooms are open, and so you're good there. But you want to carry your water. If you're going to be out there for, you know, the 10K and you're going to be out there for a couple hours or whatever, you want to make sure that you have water with you. So, and then also the strategy. So on the update that I sent out this last time, there are strategies, whether you're a leopard or a cougar or a jaguar, whether you want to do the 5K or the 10K, for any of the groups, those group specific guidelines are up there for how to do an event. Some of you are just going to do it to finish and to be out there and cover the distance, and that's awesome. Some of you are going to do it to maybe go for a certain time. That's awesome. The one thing I will tell you is this thing called adrenaline is real. And what most people do by mistake, by accident, is they go out too fast, too soon. And so they kind of, you know, poop out before they get to the end. And that's adrenaline. You're excited in an actual in-person race. There's all the people, there's all the noises, there's the smells. There's just this natural adrenaline that builds up. And so you go out and you hit your first mile and it's like, oh my gosh, I've never walked that fast. I've never run that fast. What am I doing? You know, because you've got adrenaline. And so you have to sort of regroup, reset. Okay, calm down. Don't freak out. Just calm down. Slow it down. How many people has that happened to? See? If you don't, I'm not kidding. It happens. So just kind of put the reins on. Be prepared for that adrenaline rush, and don't freak out when you see your time on that first mile is faster than you ever thought you could do. Okay. Any specific, now last couple weeks or 2 weeks ago, I think I went over the course, and I've been encouraging people to do portions of it anyway, on Tuesday nights. So if anybody has questions about that course, you know, don't hesitate to let me know, or go to the update from the last couple of weeks, because I've kept it up there and you can review what it is and that kind of thing. Okay, so I'm going to shift to accessories, and this is important because there's a lot of little gadgets in here that you might not know about, and they might help you over the course of the next few months in terms of not only consistency and comfort, but safety. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the AfterShokz. For those of you who want to listen to, I don't know, music or podcasts or something, or need your phone, you can even answer your phone when you have this on. The reason why this is safe is because nothing goes in your ear. It's bone conduction, so you can see by the picture, it's right here, and you can hear really well what's going on around you in addition to whatever the music is. Personally, when I'm out there, that's my break. That's my mental break. That's a lot of reasons for a break. So I personally don't listen to stuff. I use these, but guess when I use them? Hands-free, chopping vegetables, talking to my family. Maybe work great. It seems to work better. Yeah, I could probably put the phone on speakerphone, but this seems to work a whole lot clearer than speakerphone. Or if I'm going on a trip and I really do expecting a call from an important phone call, I can have hands-free. So that's the shocks. And also on Monday, October 16th, we're going to have a demo here. It's our Monday Run Day, which walkers are welcome. Teddy and Sue usually come. We're going to have a demo with a shoe company called Vamazi. And Vamazi is a brand that we are aware of, but we have not carried it before. And a demo means you can come and try out the shoes. In addition to Vamazi, you're going to be able to demo shocks. Okay, so kind of a fun opportunity to do that if you ever wanted to try it without being obligated. Okay, anti-odor products. So there's the only reason why I would hesitate, there's these little, if you have like high school kids, middle school kids, there are these little balls, and you just twist them and put them in the shoe or put them in the gym bag, and it helps get the odor out. And the only problem is we have like 1 or 2 sets left, and we can't get them anymore because they're out of stock. But those are really good. And sometimes we'll have spray and that type of thing for anti-odor. Body Glide, it looks like deodorant. It's been around for quite a while. If you get chafing in between your toes, your thighs, here, anywhere you might get chafing, this is really good to help prevent that. Okay, and it's a lot more convenient than the bag balm that I used to use. Coming from a farm, we did milk cows, and bag balm's kind of like heavy duty Vaseline. This is a lot better. Okay, face masks is on this list, but hopefully we don't need to wear those anymore. Okay, fuel products. So we've got gels, chews, electrolyte replacement that you put with water, and a lot of other products that if and when you get into a longer hike, a longer run, a longer anything endurance-wise, and you want some energy that's going to sustain you, but you don't want to eat a pastrami sandwich because that would upset your tummy. And the story why I always say pastrami sandwich is because we were at mile 18 volunteering for the Portland Marathon several years ago, and out from the fanny pack comes this big pastrami sandwich. I thought, oh my gosh, how could you do that? Well, then I got to thinking her pace was pretty slow, so she was probably going to be one of those 8-hour marathons. I thought, well, if I was out there doing an urban hike for 8 hours, maybe a pastrami sandwich wouldn't be so bad. But still, you know, you want something that's going to sustain you, but not upset your tummy. Okay? And that's my pastrami sandwich. Let's see. Gloves. It is getting cold, and we have lots of hats, headbands. Now, one of the ways you lose a lot of heat is through the holes. So if you don't want to wear a hat, but you want to stay warmer, at least a headband is going to cover your ears, and that's going to keep you a whole lot warmer. I see Danae has one on right now. And also, we just got new shipments of gloves and hats and beanies and headbands in. I haven't pulled them out yet just because I have to get a rack from the corner of the basement, and I have to move like 6 other racks to get to the one I need. But protecting our hands, I kind of have a rule. If it's much below 50 degrees, the gloves are coming out. Yeah. And that's just what I know. Part of it also might depend on the wind, the rain, the individual person. I know some people, it could get into the mid-30s and they still don't wear gloves because their hands get hot. That's not me. So you got to, do what works for you. Let's see. Hydration belts. There are belts that have hydration bottles. I'll just grab one really quick because they're so cool. This is an example. Come back up here. Oh, I'm back. This is an example of one. This one has 2 water bottles. There are some like this that have 1 water bottle and some pocket space. Also, what's really cool about the newer ones these days They're adjustable. And also, see these little white elasticy things right here? Let's say you have your jacket and then you warm up. You take your jacket off, you can stick it through here, toggle it on. I was even doing a hike last spring and it was, you know, partly raining, and then it got, I mean, we were in snow for a little bit, but then we warmed up, took my pants, my waterproof pants off because I had tights on underneath, and my jacket, and literally just put them in here, cinched it up and kept going. And then later on we got up into higher elevation. I needed to put that gear back on, just took it out of here, put it back on, and it was awesome because it's pretty lightweight. I didn't have to have a big old pack, but I had what I need to carry that gear without having to, you know, hang on to it or do a full pack. And I had enough pocket space in here. My phone went right here, so I could take pictures of the snow. And there was enough pocket space for all my snacks and all that kind of stuff too. So that was really cool to have such a minimalistic option instead of a big old pack. And then handhelds are nice too. So instead of going and hanging on to a bottle like this, the cool thing about these bottles oftentimes is there's some way that you can put your thumb through there, hang on to it without really having to exert much force at all. And there's lots of different options for handheld water bottles. A lot of them too have pocket space for a little gel pack or goo pack or that kind of thing. Was there a question? Okay. Inserts. You know, sometimes you have the shoe that fits just right. For the most part, you love the shoe, but you want maybe just a little bit more arch support or just an enhanced fit. And so that's where these over-the-counter inserts, they run about $50, give or take. They're not a $800 custom one, but oftentimes they work really, really well. And there's some places that, you know, everybody needs an insert. That's not our philosophy. If you need something more, we've got it here for you. If you don't need it, if the shoe does what it's supposed to do without anything extra, we're not going to force this. But sometimes it really can help a lot. And if your feet hurt or you have plantar fasciitis and you haven't tried an over-the-counter one, I just suggest, you know, if you try it, you might be surprised how an over-the-counter $50, $60 one works really, really well. And so you don't have to go to the podiatrist or the doctor and get that custom one. If you've tried a lot of these and it still doesn't work and you've done all your exercises, then you can go to the podiatrist or the foot doctor and say, hey, I've tried this and this and this, and I've tried good shoes. I'm still having foot pain. Maybe it is time for medical intervention and you really do need to go to the podiatrist. But we've got quite an assortment of them over there. We do have KT tape. KT tape can be used shoulders, arms, hips, legs, back, shins. And this KT tape is going to be supportive for the area that you've got that's strained or achy, that kind of thing. It's going to be supportive. Oftentimes what that KT tape does is it actually pulls some of the fascia away from the muscle so blood flow gets in there, but it's also supportive at the same time. There's a word called oscillation. It's a fancy word for vibration. When we get older, everything jiggles a little bit more. And so sometimes we want a little more support. You could wear a compression sleeve. I got them somewhere over here, I think. Here they are. So this is a calf sleeve. So it goes over your calf, and it's compression. So compression is going to increase support, maybe a little bit of warmth, but it's going to increase support to minimize that oscillation or vibration that happens. And I'll tell you, one of the things about the gadgets and the accessories, over 25 plus years of having the store, if something really doesn't work, we're eventually going to stop bringing it in. This is something that still works. So if we still have it here, there's a reason why. It really does work. And you see, aside from, you do see a lot of the professional people doing it. I wear it. You know, there's certain times where it might be better than other times, depending on what you've got going on. But we do have that. We also have travel socks. So sometimes, you know, compression socks are hard to get on because they're supposed to be compression-y. The travel socks from OS First actually give you a great compression, but they're not so darn hard to get on and off. I've worn these two on the plane, and they're pretty amazing. So if anybody's going on a trip and you have, some, that issue where your ankles and everything swells up so bad, you might consider something like this. And then also for the people that have plantar fasciitis, there are the plantar fasciitis sleeves for your foot and ankle. Now, I say, yeah, we have them, but you still want to do all the other stuff that I talked about in the previous talks about rolling out your lower calves, doing your work, stretching and all that kind of stuff. And if you need a refresher, you can either refer to that poster right there. That's a really good illustration. Or you can always come in and ask me, hey, Susan, I think I'm feeling that the symptoms of plantar fasciitis, which is your heel hurts, and textbook is it hurts first thing in the morning when you get out of bed, usually loosens up a little bit. If you ever want a refresher on the things you can do at home to deal with PF, plantar fasciitis, come on in and we're happy to review that with you. Everybody on our staff knows what you can do. This is just one of those things that's a little more convenient than KT tape because you just put it on and it's compression. Okay. How are we doing? Oh, I got to wrap it up. Let's see. Massage tools. We've talked about that. Just saying. We've got a lot of these things, gadgets. Phone carriers. We got a lot of things over there. You can put them here. We got lots of little personal little belts like this that you can put a phone in, or any special things that you need if you're going on a little hike and you just want a little extra pocketage, and most of them have some reflectivity on them. Moving right along. Safety pepper spray. I think we need to order more. We're probably out. Ripcord sirens, the things that makes a lot of noise. And then, of course, the reflective gear. This one's really cute because it's a jack-o'-lantern. Isn't that cute? So this part's going to not only be reflective, but it's got a little light. And this is super, super lightweight. You can literally put it on here, kind of like this one here. So that's reflective. This one's reflective, plus it has a little light. Just in time for Halloween. Okay. And let's see. We have the knuckle lights, which we talked about before. We have headlights, which we talked about before. I'm all prepared. And also, this one here is a waist one. So I'm going to turn it on, but I hope I don't. It's really bright. And this one is 200 lumens. We have them with 400 and 600 lumens too. So if you're out there and you want to be seen, that's less lumens. If you want to not only be seen, but you want to really, really, really see the surface in front of you, then you go higher lumens, and that's brightness. And so this is a really, really good one. If I was out on the trail, I've tried this before. So if you don't want something on your forehead, or you don't want the knuckle lights, think of a waist one. Okay. Let's see. Gonna wrap it up, I promise. Talked about that. Of course, we talked all about socks. Sport wash gets the stink out, breaks down those the microscopic bugs that cause odor. And let's see. Of course, sunglasses. We're not going to need those that much anymore. Watches. Let's see. I have my reflective vest. Any questions? Kind of flew through that, wrapped it up because I realized what time it is. Let's see. Next week, we are going to talk about goal setting, and we're going to break up into groups like we have in the past and really conquer that part. So come with your, goals and ideas and that type of thing, and your plans. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Did I cover it? Any questions? Okay. Let's see. I did get some more little pink cards made that talk about the spring clinic that starts March 5th. And so that's it for tonight.